Hi, everybody. It is June 14th, and I found God today in my Sunday school class. I think I had told you in the past that we have been listening to each other's testimonies in this interim while we're, Zooming our Sunday schools and so forth. And today I did mine. And this is really the second time I've ever done a testimony. The first was on January 1st when I kind of started this whole thing with the Great Commission that God has given me. And so it's kind of the first time I've done it for a live audience. And they're very kind, of course. But the theme I think that came out of this for me, after I kind of sat back and listened to it was, God's theme, God's hand rather on my life. I have always felt God's hand on my life, no matter what's going on, good, bad, from the beginning. Even before I really knew Jesus as my personal savior, I always knew God was there um, as a protector and so forth. And that like was his job until I, learned there was more to it than just, God protecting me. Well, after um, Sunday school, I walked the dog and then watched church online because we're still kind of doing that. And the first two songs that they played just kind of reinforced this whole idea for me. The first song was Faithful to the End, and there are lyrics in it that say, "There wasn't a day that you weren't by my side. There wasn't a day that you let me fall." And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know that the music worship team knew that about what I was going to do for my testimony. And then Do It Again is one that they played after that. And walking around these walls, thinking now they'd fall. You've never failed me yet. And I'm like, it's one of those things. It's like, really? I just was like talking about that. One of those coincidences. And then the whole sermon, too, just kept pointing back to what I'm doing or what I'm attempting to do here with finding God every day. And the amount of trust that goes on, which is so integral to the relationship that I think God is trying to, strengthen in me and me with Him. Um, and so one of the things that we're talking about is, I wrote this down as a quote: your fear is in relationship to your trust. So the more you trust, the less fear you have. So going into any kind of witnessing, which I think this vlog is a little bit of, I was extremely fearful, but the more I trust, the fear went down. And, because it's like, what should I do? What should I talk about? What do you? And God said, I got that covered. Okay, I trust you. Let's go for it. And so I think this is day like 166 or something like that. And every day he has provided something for me to talk about because it's not from me, it's what he is doing in my life, not what I'm doing in his life. So, but as the sermon went on, um, I wrote down my private conversation with God and my public obedience to God. It's a big difference. It's very safe to pray. It's a great feeling, but going out is dangerous. It's scary. Um, and then he got into Matthew and talking when Jesus found the apostles and basically said, okay, you've seen all these wonders you've seen. I'm going to give you that power. But just let you know, I'm sending you out like the sheep to the slaughter. You will be flogged. You will be beaten. You will be arrested. Um, and it kind of goes like that. When they'll take you out of the synagogues. Uh, there's a whole long list. I won't go through the whole thing. But after verse 22, it says, but the one who endures to the end will be saved. So I'm glad that God's not taking it to that extreme for me, but I should be willing to put down my life for what I believe. And I would hope in that situation I would. But even though this is public, it's still safe enough. And, people might say mean things or nice things. I can't control that. But being faithful to God, in the end, I will be saved, which I know I am because I trust in Jesus anyway. So it was a really long line of coincidences after I said my testimony. And so I just love it when God just kind of comes up behind me and reinforces what he's asking me to do and, kind of gives me that pat, like, yes, you're on the right track, Amy. Keep going. And so that's where I found God today. And I just encourage you to look every day, um, because he is there. And so you might as well kind of see the things that he's doing in your life.